started. Thank you.
All right, guys, please, it's very informal, so please ask questions, related to whatever we're talking about. We're just going to kind of go through the main ways we get paid, and we'll try to do a roadmap to senior officer. If I can get that slide deck maybe towards the end. If not, I can definitely talk us through it, and then we can do a different time, maybe next Saturday or something we can do. And then it actually shows you, okay, we need this number of ultimates. But the main thing we want to do is get to that number of auto ships. So just keep in mind 134 auto ships is the key to sustainable long-term business. That's what you need to optimize a line. 134. That gives you 13,334. And you're going to see why that is important. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. Carmen, chime in at any time, please.
Thank you, Reese.
All right. Let's make sure. And cancel that. All right. Everybody see my screen okay?
Yep.
Hang on real quick.
Sweet.
Reese, you said 134 subscriptions, monthly subscription?
Per leg. No. That's going to be, so that's, they're monthly subscription, but you need that per leg per week.
Per leg?
So, yep.
And
that'll optimize. That's 13,334.
Yeah.
PV, which is an optimized line. And if you don't know what that means, you'll understand it by the time we get done today.
Yeah. And then 76 PV, is that based on 76 PV or 200?
That's based on 100 PV auto ships.
Perfect.
Yep.
100 PV. Okay, so the minimum.
Got it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's your minimum auto ship.
Perfect.
Let me gotta do one thing real quick. I gotta minimize this so I can actually see my screen. All right. Here we go. Okay, so everybody here should already know. If somebody can let people in for me, that'd be awesome.
I'm doing that.
You're awesome, Carmen. Thank you. So everybody should know at this point what Ultimate is, but we'll talk through it real quick. Of course, anybody that you're signing up, you guys have already done it. It was $29.95 in the US. I believe y'all can correct me on the numbers. These numbers will all be US numbers today for the most part. But Carmen, Christy, Mary, you can chime in with the Canadian numbers, but it's $29.95 one time. Of course, in Canada, I think it's $37.95 one time. That gives you access. That basically, they call it the business tools instead of just a membership or anything like that. But you can treat this as a membership. You can treat it for just to get the discount. But all of us are here to make money, so that's what we're going to talk about today. If you haven't got your board set up yet, we definitely need to get you set up on board. So reach out to whoever your leader is. Make sure you get the boards app, understand what that is and why we use it. That's where our system of growth is, and that's where it makes it so simple. You can be up and running with your business in just a couple of hours. Of course, the Share app that has all the documentation. I use the Share app strictly for the documentation for different countries, things like that. I do not run my back office through it. I like using a computer. If I need something quick, I'll just go to the website on my phone, but generally I like to see it on a computer screen because you can make the reports wider, all of that. So I use the website for all of my back office. Of course, so here's our business levels. Once you achieve the business level, that whatever business level you are, that's where you don't have to re-achieve it. You don't have to re-level. You don't ever have to try to do that again. Once you're there, you're there. But if you're here to make money, you have to be ultimate. You absolutely have to be ultimate, or you're missing part of the pay plan. If you stay at activated, you're missing a good chunk, especially starting out. You're going to miss, almost half of what you could get paid. You could double what you're going to get paid going to ultimate. So that's why we always encourage going to ultimate. You can buy or sell your way there. You don't have to do it in one shot, but it's 1,500 PV. I know that's not there. I don't know why it's not there, but it isn't. But ultimate is 1,500 PV. So activated is 200 PV. That gives you a business. You'll get paid at activated. You'll get paid on new volume bonus along with base commission, everything else. But your new volume bonus will be 15%. New volume bonus is anything paid or any new person that you sign in as a brand partner or any new customer for the first 4 Fridays and up to 1,500 PV. So if I sign up Patrick and he goes ultimate at 1,500 PV in the US at 15%, I'm only going to make $225. But at Ultimate, I would make $450. And once he's over the 1,500, he's Ultimate, and then he can do the same thing with his people. And then you're locked in and getting paid new volume bonus at that point. If you get outside of your 4 weeks, actually 8 weeks, then you're going to be locked at whatever level is. So if you did 1,000 PV, that would be business level. Elite level. If you did 500 PV, it would be business level. So at elite level, you get paid 25%. So on somebody that has a 100 PV order, you're going to get paid $25. So you can see how that really starts to add up by being Ultimate. And once you're Ultimate, you are there for life. You never have to do this again. And that is key, because a lot of people don't really get that. You will never have to place an order other than your auto ship under yourself again. You'll be able to actually place your order. So like I said, I sign up Patrick, I can place my order under him and say I needed a 10 pack, which is 500 PV. I can put that 500 PV, give him the PV, give Patrick the PV, and that PV will roll up to me, and I will get new volume bonus on my order. So if I did that at 500 PV, that's $150 that I'll get back. Call it a kickback, whatever you want, on new volume bonus on my own order. And what that does is reduces the cost per box down. So you're making way more per box of drops when you're selling. Any questions on Ultimate?
Reese, I'm just going to ask this.
Yep.
If somebody took longer than 4 weeks, because there's a question here from Pauline,
Yes.
just can you explain that to, just what that looks like if somebody takes longer than 4 weeks? Can they still get to Ultimate?
Yes. So so let me throw this out there. The reason we shoot for 4 weeks is, one, the sponsor gets paid new volume bonus for those 4 weeks. All right. The other side of it is, we know if you get to Ultimate within the first 4 weeks, you are 10 times more likely to hit the title of manager in 90 days. And if you hit that in 90 days, you're 5 times more likely to hit the level of vice president in 160 days, I believe. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the days. And then you are way more likely to then get to the officer level of pay, or senior officer level of pay. Senior officer level of pay is what we would call 6-figure pay at that point. It's 165, that average is 165,000. It's minimum 150,000, averages 165,000. And I'll explain that a little bit more in just a second. But after the 4 weeks, you can still get there. You have 4 more weeks that you can accumulate. So it can be separate orders. You just have to make sure it should do it automatically, but just watch your tracker. Make sure if it doesn't do it automatically, you call in and say, hey, I need that applied towards my Ultimate. And then after the 8th Friday, and when we say weeks, we're talking Fridays. So if you sign up on a Friday, that is your first Friday. If you sign up on a Saturday, your first Friday is not until the next Friday. But anything after that, you can at any point in time, 2 years down the road, put in one order for whatever you're remaining. So let's say you had 700 PV at the end of 8 weeks, and 6 months down the road, you say, I really want to give this a go, but I want to be Ultimate. At 700 PV, you're at business level. You can then place an order for the remainder. So 1,500 minus 700. So for 800 PV, you can put in one order, and that they will move you to Ultimate. So you're never out of the running to get to Ultimate. We also do what we call level ups, and we usually do 1 or 2 a year. I'm thinking we just did one, so we probably won't do one coming out of PXP. We may not. If not, we're going to do one at the beginning of the year, I'm sure. So there's that, where you're able to accumulate your way back to Ultimate as well. So again, once you're there, you're there. And I saw, let me see, there was another question. Okay. If you don't have your auto shipped on, you don't get paid. But if you turn your auto ship back on, you don't lose it. You literally can turn it off for 2 years and come back in a year and turn it back on, and you are Ultimate. You will never lose your Ultimate. And no, so you do not. Yeah. So if you don't sell your way to 1,500 PV, you have to buy it, or somebody above you, your sponsor or whatever, has to put an order under you to that would help you get there. That's the only way. It has to, the PV has to come through your account. It can't come through other brand partners. Any other questions? All right. Now we're going to move over our other way we get paid. So we had new volume bonus. Of course, you guys know what retail is. Let's talk about that for just a second. Selling retail is buying a 10 pack or whatever. The higher you buy, the bigger you buy. I know in Canada, do we know when we're getting a 30 pack in Canada yet, Christy or Carmen?
No,
No, we don't know yet. So hopefully we'll get the 30 pack soon. Or it may even be a 22 pack, depending on how the PV and the dollar value works out. Not 100% sure, but like here in the US, you can buy a 30 pack and that puts your cost of your drops lower because you're buying in bulk. So if you buy a single at 76 PV, that's 123 US dollars. If you buy a 4 pack, that puts your cost of box around 92 to 94 with shipping and taxes. If you buy a 10 pack, that puts your cost of the box $88 before shipping and taxes. If you buy a 30 pack, that puts your cost of the box around $76 to $77. That is before any new volume bonus. So that's your first ones that you're ordered. All right. Then you can sell. And if you're selling, let's say in the US, so if you're buying a 30 pack and you have $76 in it and you sell it for $176 full retail, you make $100 per box. Most people sell at $167, but you can easily sell at $176. Never go below $150. Never go below $200 in Canada because that's a 15% discount. You want to have the room to convert people to brand partners. If they can still order for the same price you're giving it to them, if they can just order it from you, then there's no reason for them to sign up. And then they don't have, you want them on an auto ship or you want to be able to convert them to brand partners. So having that gap there, the product is worth every penny. There's no doubt about it. It's worth the 176. I mean, I lost 65 pounds of weight I never thought I was going to lose.
I have a
Oh,
question.
sweet.
I have a question.
Yes.
If in Canada you buy 3 10 packs, do you get a bigger discount or in order to get to the 30?
No, so it's just in the 10 pack, whatever that 10 pack price is. No, it'll be the same price for the 10 pack. That's what we're trying to get. And I don't know when it'll happen, but the 30 pack in the US will go up probably after September a little bit. And it'll be Canada and the US will be very even, probably when we say rolling into September, October, it'll be very even on the 30 packs to the 4 packs. So
Reese, I have a question.
yes. Yes, ma'am.
If somebody just wasn't sure what day they registered, how do they find that in their back office? What their date is that they enroll so they can figure that out?
So you can go to organization view or you can go to your tree view and click on it. And I can show you here in a minute. I can show you how to do that. You just kind of you can go in tree view and click on your name and then click detailed info and it'll tell you your enrollment date, or you can go to the organization report and pull it up there and it'll tell you your enroll date. Any other questions?
I have one
All right.
question. I have one more.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you're in Canada and you order an NFR from US to Canada, why can't you buy the 30 pack right now?
You can't buy a 30 pack because you can't ship 30 across the border. They don't offer it for NFR. I don't even think they have 4 packs on there anymore, do they? I think it's just singles. Singles or double packs.
Yeah, I shipped singles. I didn't look.
You can order a 30 pack in Canada?
No, I didn't look for. Oh,
No,
Jacqueline just said you could, or did you just order 3 10 packs?
3 10 packs, I bet.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Oh, I need to look at that. We're going to take a look at that in just a second and make sure, because if that's news to me if that happened. I think it's news to all of us. So that'd be awesome.
It is, yeah.
All right. So we talked about retail pay. We've talked about new volume bonus. Now we're going to talk about where the residual income starts to take place. We are not a binary. We're kind of a hybrid. So those of you that's done this for a while, what a binary is. We're not a binary. We do have a power leg. However, we can have as many legs wide as we want. So you get base pay on all of your legs but the largest. So if you have 10 legs, you're going to get paid base pay on 9 of those. Remember, this doesn't include new volume bonus. You get paid on that on any leg. When we're going to talk about matching check in a minute, you get paid that on any leg. This is only base pay. The power leg sets up. So here you go. This one, if somebody's starting out, they've got 5,000 PV in their first leg. All right. When they do their second leg and they get 4,000, they're going to get paid on the lowest of that leg. So this would be a traditional binary. They get paid on 4,000. So 15% of 4,000 PV is 600. Okay. So what is 4,000 PV? All right. A 10 pack is 500 PV. So you're looking at 10 packs for that 4,000. All right. Just keep that in mind. We'll probably talk 10 packs mostly today, but 30 packs is a 1,500 PV. So you're looking at 2 30 packs and 10 packs to hit that 4,000 PV for that. All right. So you get paid $600 on that. That's just base commission. This doesn't include any other area of the pay plan. All right. Let's say you've got another leg. This is what's so nice about this pay plan. When you're ultimate, you get 5 legs you can start building if you want to. And I suggest you start with 3. That way you don't get caught in the legs flipping. It doesn't really matter, but when you see your legs flipping, you kind of lose your mind sometimes. So Pauline asked, what is base pay? This is base pay. It is 15% commission on all of your legs, but your largest. So if I signed up Patrick and he's been in my business and he's got a team growing that's got 1,000, 2,000 people in it, doesn't matter. Whatever that PV, and say he's in my pay line, that second line, if he does 4,000, then that 4,000, I get paid on that 4,000 base commission, 15%. All right. So in this case, though, we got 3 legs now, and you can see them together add up to 6,000. This is where this separates us from a binary. In a binary, you would have 6,000 on one and 5,000 on another. Guess what? You get paid on 5,000 PV. Here, there's 4,000 and 2,000. They're both smaller than that power leg. We get paid on 6,000 PV. So you get paid $900 for just base commission. That's before anything else.
And Reese, any legs that you have, any personally sponsored in the power leg, the only money you make is their matching bonus. That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Now, new volume bonus and matching bonus, correct.
New volume.
And we'll,
So if you you place an order under them, even though in the power leg you're making your 15%.
Well, you would make, if you're at ultimate and you place somebody in your power leg, and normally you wouldn't do that unless you're just starting out and you're just flip flopping.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get 30% because you're ultimate on new volume bonus, no matter what leg they're in, no matter where you place them in their first 4 Fridays. Now, after that, then it goes to base commission, and you wouldn't get paid if it's a power leg.
You would just get there. You would just
Matching check.
Matching check. Got it.
Correct. And everybody will see that in just a second. Any other questions? Or Carmen, anything to, let's see.
I don't know how to leave the meeting.
So that is a Mark, that is a totally different kind of question there. Placing your one adult children on separate legs, that is totally up to you how you do that. Mine are kind of spread out around, and basically because they have as people are building under them, they're just getting a power leg. If they ever decide they want to build, then they have a power leg built for them, and they can go out and start building their own legs. So you can put them anywhere. If you want to put them at the top of the leg, it's absolutely fine. There's no problem with that.
And then there's no requirement for a personally sponsored in that leg, like you just said. Your kids, if you put a Haas and he built that power leg, they never have to put a personal. They can build 2 legs and they get paid on it.
That is exactly right. You literally can make money here without sponsoring one person.
Wow.
If somebody gives you 2 legs, you'll get base commission. If not, you can end up, well, that's how you would make it without it. Or you could sponsor one person and get paid a bunch of money. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. All right. So our goal with base pay, this is only one area, guys. And just so keep that in mind. So our goal is to optimize the leg. And what that means is 13,334 PV. 13,334 PV. So you can divide that up with 30 packs and all that. So that's 930 packs on a leg. We'll optimize that. All right. So to get paid on an optimized leg, so you would need a power leg that's optimized. That's that written in blue. It's got 13,334. And this isn't, remember, this is not personally sponsored people. This isn't people that you're directly working with. This is anybody in your organization. So this is for us. You guys are in our power leg. This is most of you guys that are here in our power leg. There's some actually in my pay leg. So it doesn't matter how deep you are. You could be 20 generations deep, 300 levels deep, and it will help that go to 13,334. And we're going to get either a power leg out of it, or we're going to get a pay leg. And I'm going to explain that a little bit into detail about how we place and do all that in just a second. So we want to get that second one done, 13,334. I know that sounds like a funky number, but that funky number, the reason why is it is 15% of 13,334 is $2,000 a week. We say it's unlimited. When we say it's unlimited, that means it's unlimited all the way down as deep as it needs to go and as wide as it needs to go underneath that. So you can absolutely build that with 100 PV auto ships, with the 76 one order. Even if somebody orders 20 PV for the shampoo, you're going to get credit for that. That's going to go towards that 13,334. And when you do that, you're going to get optimized. And on that the second leg that you do that with, you will get $2,000 in base commission. But there's another piece to this, and it's called, we have income position and pay line bonus. So it is global share pool. So it takes 2% of that global share, and it actually, anybody that optimizes, depending on how many people optimize a pay leg that week, it's going to divide those shares up. Right now, it's running between 470 to 500 US dollars. So it's a little bit better for Canadian, up that a little bit. And then if you do it, and this is where it gets real interesting, the next time you do that, you'll do the same thing. So you'll do 2,000, you'll get about a $450, $470 bonus. But when you do a third line, that gets into third pay line, you get into what we call our pay line exponential bonus, and it starts growing rapidly. So this shows what it looks like. So once you get 2 pay lines, you're going to see you go to 1,500, then 3,000, then 5,000, then 7,500, then 10. So if you have 10 lines optimized, just in the base, or just in the pay line bonus, you're going to get $18,000. It's a little bit higher than that right now. So if you say $18,000 plus you did 10 lines with that, so you're looking at 9 lines that you got paid on, that's $18,000. So you're looking at $36,000 just from those 10 lines, just for a week. This is where talking in weeks. All right. Any questions on that? I know it's confusing, but just know every time you optimize a line, you get a piece of this bonus.
Hey, Reese.
Yes.
So with it as an ultimate, you're saying about 5 pay lines, but here this is showing 10 lines. So what's the
Okay.
difference?
Great question. So what happens? I'm gonna go, if I can go back. It won't go back. Let me go back real quick. All right. So when we optimize the second leg, you're going to get 2 things. You're going to get a re-entry, and I'm not going to go into that because that is a very in-depth training, a different piece of the pay plan, and that's a couple of years down the road for most people. But you're also going to get an additional line. So at this point, you can start a 6th line. You get another one. You optimize that, you get a 7th line. So you get to optimize that every time you optimize out another line. When you optimize 3,
The
4,
goal is to
5.
optimize, at least the goal 1 is to get 2 lines optimized. That's the first.
That is exactly right. And that is what we call senior officer pay. And that is $165,000 a week.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, not a week, a year.
Yeah,
Sorry.
year.
I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. I'm in.
I
Again.
need some of that, don't you?
Yeah.
So senior officer pay is where we start talking 6 figures, and you're getting close to 200. Depending on your matching check, you could be at 200 with that. But at a minimum, you're 150 US. Average is about 165. And that's because you're like trying to add that up. Well, it's only $2,000 a week base pay, but then you've got to throw in those bonuses plus matching check, all that in there. So that's about $165,000 a year to optimize 2 lines. Any questions on that? And I can't really see chat unless I bring it up. And yeah, Chris, you got to get that 1334. Remember, that is 13,334 in each line. So, and then how do you know when to start a third line? You can start one now. I like a third line. Some people don't. And the reason I like a third line is because I don't like my I don't like my people's power line and pay line when they're just starting flipping all the time, because it really freaks them out, because as your title advancing, things like that, if you flip and you're like, oh, all of a sudden, you know, my power line became my pay line, but I thought I was getting paid more, because, and they start freaking out. So you really, if you spread it out, you generally don't have that flipping of lines. I love that. It becomes,
It's okay, I got
Mark,
my video off.
yeah. So Mark, once you optimize 2 lines, you optimize a pay line, the company will give you an additional one. If it's not going to like place people there, but you will have it available to you. Correct. Oh, let me go back to that. All right. Any questions? Any more? All right. So savings bonus is one of my favorite ways we get paid. All right. So talking base commission. So this is going to be based on your pay lines as well. Once you start making $250 or more, and so if you make 250 this week, but don't make it next week, you get it this week, you don't get it next week. But once you're making 250 or more in base commission, the company takes an extra 15% and they put it into an account. And you've all probably seen that wheel in the back office. And that is your savings bonus, and it will start adding up quick. Christy just got hers. We got ours in February. Some of you guys will be getting yours probably before the end. But it's fun, isn't it, to watch that go up. But it's nice because it's an additional 15% on top of your base commission. So once you're making 250 or more, you're getting an extra 15% on top. So, and they put that in there, and once it gets to 10,000, they will call you. They will celebrate you. You get on a Zoom with Katie and Lucy and Dan, John and Darren, the owners. You get on a call with them. They celebrate you. You get put on the Monday night call where you get to talk about it, all that kind of stuff. At all the events, you get celebrated. But the best piece of it is there's an extra $10,000 that will go into your account on that what we call our savings bonus week. And then every 4 weeks after that, you get that additional 15%. So up to $2,000 over there. So they can, every week you can build another $500 onto your check. Now it's released every 4 weeks. So if you'll hear some of us, we always we might call it the savings bonus week. If you're on the IPA, that's what we're talking about. We know our check is getting bumped by whatever our 15% plus was over those last 4 weeks. So once you get $10,000, you continue to get it. A lot of people think you get the 10,000, that's it. Nope. You continue to get that 15% up to $2,000 every 4 weeks. And you can use that for whatever you want to. And this is, for us, is kind of in lieu of a car program, because most car programs, they require you to sign on the dotted line, and you have to reach a certain level. You have to reach a certain qualification every single week, every single month, or whatever it is, whatever they have for the qualification. And if you don't, then you have to either start paying for the car or give it back. Here, this is your money to do whatever you want to with it. All right. Any questions you have? So Denise asked, so you don't have to wait to hit the 13,334 for, I'm guessing, for another leg? No, you could have that. Now, you should, if you're ultimate, you will have 5. If you're not ultimate, you will have 2, and you will have to optimize to get to another one. No, you don't have to personally sponsor it. I think, I believe Mary or somebody answered that. Yeah, Carmen answered that. Do you have to be personally sponsored to put in a new line? No, somebody above you can place them there. But generally, they're not going to place an additional person in another line for you. Generally, that's going to be your sponsorship. Now, that's something you could work out with them. I'd never recommend building anybody's pay lines, because you want the volume to flow up, and I'll explain that in just a second. So generally, the answer to that would be you want to personally sponsor on a new line, because most likely your leader is not going to sponsor over on that, especially if you're already optimizing their week. That gives your leader really no incentive to put somebody there, because they won't get paid on that person. All right. Can you move people around after their place? You can move. You have 10 days to move people around. But try not to do that. Try to know where you want them. I know sometimes that's hard to do, but once they're placed after 10 days, it's very, very difficult to get them moved. All right. Any questions about savings bonus? Any comments? Carmen, Christy, anybody?
Good.
No,
There's all the people you can see: Kim Gray, Ashley, Brent, Tammy. Everybody gets this thing. All right. This is my favorite thing to talk about because this is my absolute favorite part of the pay plan. You guys remember I said most of you guys are on our power line. So what does that mean? We don't get paid base commission on anything you guys do. This line that most of you guys are in, does probably between 80 and 120,000 PV a week. All right. That's like, man, you're not getting paid anything on that? I am, just not base commission. What I'm getting paid here is our matching bonus. So when you become ultimate, you're going to unlock your first 3 generations of matching check. And what that means is if I sponsor Christy sponsors Carmen, sponsors Patrick. All right. So I sponsor Christy. She's my first generation. You can think of it. That's my kid. And then my second generation is going to be Carmen because Christy sponsors Carmen. That's my grandkid. And then Patrick is my third generation because Christy sponsored or Carmen sponsored Patrick. So I'm going to get 15% of any base commission that Christy gets. So if Christy makes $1,000 this week, which is half of an optimized line, I'm going to get paid $150. If Christy makes $1 this week, I'm going to make 15. If Carmen was to make $1,000, that's another $100, and this all stacks up. So as your generations start to grow out, those 5% start to look really good. All right, you can unlock up to 7 generations of this, and that means everybody, doesn't matter what level they are. It is a totally different pay plan. And I heard I think Shorty Olson was the one that said it. If you took away all of our other pieces of the pay plan and just kept this would still be one of the #1 pay plans because this is so good. It is, there is no limit, there's no cap. You can outrun your base commission by a long shot. My matching check is about 2 times. It's shrinking a little bit because my pay line is really coming alive. So you guys that are on that pay line thing, you guys are rocking too. So it's starting to really grow. And that's the thing. It takes time. It takes generations to hit some of these people. But if you hit a rock star in the first generation, I mean, that can set you up and you don't have to do anything. I mean, literally, this is where somebody can sponsor one person and get rich. So, and I'm going to use this person. So Todd sponsored this guy named Walt. Walt was bulldozing his land. All Todd needed was a person to sign up because there was a competition to get, I think, 9 people signed up in 2 months or something like that. And so he said, okay, you give me some bulldozing land, I'll pay for you or bulldozing my land for free, and I'll pay your way in. So he bought him in, and then he ended up getting himself to ultimate because he had this one person, Robin Perrone, that finally signed up after a few months of trying. Only person Walt has ever signed up. I think he signed up a couple of people that didn't do anything, but only person Walt ever really did. Walt's never been to a convention. Robin's never been, and she never goes to events. And Walt has never been to anything. I've never met Walt in person, but Robin sponsored my wife and a couple of others, or a bunch of others. And so because of that, Walt right now, basically, because he makes 5% on what Ashley and I do. Actually, he makes 10% on what Ashley and I do. 5% on what Chris and Joni do because they're his third generation, our first generation. So with that, he makes about $1,500 to $2,000 a week, and he doesn't do anything. He's never been on an IPA call. He's never had a training. He literally signed up one person, has one line, and he makes $1,500 to $2,000 a week. It is mind blowing, the potential for this. If you're a builder, this is where most of your money is going to come from. It's going to outpay. So if you're somebody that's making $10,000 in base and new volume bonus and all that, most likely you're probably making $20,000 within a couple of years. If you're looking at that, you're doubling that. I know Tim Sells is 2.5 times his base commission. He's probably the leading money earner. Well, the girl in China's the leading money earner, but in the US, that would be Tim. All right. Any questions on that? This is paid on any BP that you personally sponsor or they second, third. So it has to be in your generational tree, meaning you had to sponsor somebody, they had to sponsor somebody. But it doesn't matter. Pay line, power line does not matter. It is a totally different, basically, tree at that point. And that's where we kind of look at it here. I know this is just kind of thrown together here, but this is it with 2 lines right here. Say I'm building here, got line 1, got line 2. This is where it gets really magical because I can place anywhere. And on both these lines, anybody that's number 1, I'm going to get paid 15%. Anybody that's the blue number 2, I'm going to get paid 10%. So if they make $1,000 in base commission, that's $100. If each one of those do that in line, just say in that first line, I mean, there's $600 just from them making $1,000 in base commission. And that means number 1's probably going to make even better. And so that means that's going to even be a better check too, because I'm going to get 15% on that. Same thing on the other line. Doesn't matter if it's power or pay. Everybody in the 1s, 10 or 15%. Everybody in the 2s, 5%. Everybody in the 3s, everybody in the 2s, 10%. Everybody in the 3s, 5%. And then you can start unlocking up to 7 generations. You unlock generation 4 by having $500 base commission this week or in a week. That'll unlock your 4th generation. If you have $1,000 in base commission, that'll unlock generation 5. 2,000 base commission dollars will unlock generation 6, and $4,000 in base commission for yourself, that'll unlock generation 7. I know sometimes though you're thinking, oh well, $5, whatever, from one person, generation 3 or generation 4, those add up because that is where a bulk of your money is going to come from. Those generation 3s, those generation 4s, that 5%, because there'll be so many of those people that it adds up really, really quickly. All right, any questions on that?
Yeah.
So Reese, I just want to add real quick, just so everybody knows on this call, we were fortunate that Todd shared. I just wanted to see his list, and he was scrolling 28 pages, $5, $7, $9, $200.
Yes.
Scroll, and it blew our mind. Like, this is what Reese says. It's a totally different paycheck from everything else, and it is the longevity of the business. So I just want to add that it's for real.
Yeah, I mean, we have some placements, and that's where I was talking about the reentry. So total, I think we have like 6 lines across the board. But with that said, page after page after page is matching check, and it listed out on your commission summary. Okay, this week Carmen made $1,000. It says there's $1,000, and it says what that percentage is. And there's another piece to this. If somebody turns off their auto ship, it's dynamic compression, which means if somebody at the number 1 spot turns off their auto ship, whoever they've sponsored is going to move to the number 1 spot. So it dynamically compresses. And if that person comes back, it pushes back out. So if you have a big leader at number 2 and then number 1 for some reason goes away, and then number 2 explodes, guess what? They're your number 1 position now. And everybody under them comes up. So as long as they are under the same person and that person goes away, like, it's just going to dynamically compress. And number 1 goes away, everybody compresses up 1 level, which is absolutely phenomenal again. But that person never loses their spot. They get to come back. If they turn on their auto ship, it just stretches back out. And any building that's been doing under that person, it's there. So if their team had still been building, they're not missing out on anything when they come back. They just missed out on the time during that time. So that's what's another piece of our pay plan. You never have to requalify. All right. While we're still on this page, yeah, go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah,
When you say unlock 5, 6, 7, etc., does that mean they turn into the equivalent of a 4, or how does it work? Like,
well, it just means so. Let's say you just signed up your 4th generation. When you hit, if you don't have $500 in base commission, you don't unlock your 4th generation. So the 4th person down from you, so your great grandkid. All right, 5th generation would be whoever they sign up, but that takes $1,000 in your base commission to unlock that. So it doesn't. They stay in your generational tree as whatever they are. So let's not think in dynamic compression or anything here. Let's just say so if they're 7 generations deep, meaning somebody signed up, Christy signed up Carmen signed up Patrick signed up Mary signed up CW. That puts you at 5th generation. You got that? So that's just 5%. So 4th through 7th generation, our third through seventh generation is all 5%. So it doesn't matter really at that point where they're at. But if they're eighth generation, you don't get paid on them.
Gotcha.
All right. And that so let me throw this out there. It's something I did not talk about on this. There's other companies that have matching checks like this. They have the matching bonus similar. But the difference is there is zero breakaway. In most other places, if I signed up Carmen and Carmen outruns me and she makes more than I make this week, and she becomes a higher rank, then just like Chris and Joni. Chris and Joni is a perfect example. They're our first generation. They are 2 levels above us in what we in our rankings. All right. They make a good bit more than we make. But guess what? They don't break away. In other companies, they would be broke away their own thing, and we wouldn't benefit from anything they're doing or the people under them are doing anymore.
Exactly.
Here,
And also in lots of other companies too, like when you have to reach a certain rank to even
Yep.
qualify for check matches and stuff like that. Like this compensation plan just blows my mind. Like it's insane.
yeah, and that's why you can get rich here with literally sponsoring one person. You can set yourself up. I mean, Walt makes more than he makes in his bulldozing business and does nothing here. But when you do put the work and the time and the effort in, somebody had to put that time and work effort in. He didn't just get lucky. He's fortunate that it was Todd, and then there was a lot of other good leaders working with people under him, like you guys here. And so nobody. Let me phrase it as nobody gets to the money here by mistake. There is somebody actively building in this. So utilize your upline. You be that person. Put the time and effort. This is not get rich quick, but this can set you up for life. You can move money really quick here, and you can absolutely. And that's why this pay plan, if you look at ours, is so balanced. So you have some people that are front loaded where there's so much money in the retail side of things, but when that slows down, your money drops. You got other places where the money is on the back end. You've been building, and all of a sudden the money takes off where it took you 2 years and you never made a dime. Here you can make money retail and new volume bonus. You can start building on that base commission, and then that matching check starts to go up, and then those bonuses come into play. So it is balanced from beginning to end. And if your team, just say your team does, $1 million in volume or $1 million if they do $1 million, where your team will get 50, it'll be paid out into that 51% if you're generating that. And other companies, they take a lot of that money and give it to the Blue Diamonds or whatever they are. Not here. It's based on PV, like Patrick said. Everything is based on PV. All you have to do is know what your PV is, and you know what you're going to get paid. You never have to try to guess. I know a lot of other companies, it's not that way. All right. So one last piece to this is another brilliant piece of building here is the fact that we can place orders, and we can place our first generation, our personal sponsors, as deep as we can go. All right. This is why, if you hear us telling you when we're placing people, we're looking at the first thing I look at, if I'm dealing with 2 lines, 3 lines, whatever it is, I'm looking at the lowest volume that is in that line for the past few weeks. I'm going to kind of examine that. And let's say line 1 has been doing 6,000, line 2's been doing 4,000 PV every week. I'm going to be building that pay line to catch that power line, and then start building vice versa. All right. So I'm going to place my new person at the bottom of line 2. And the reason I'm placing a personally sponsored brand partner at the bottom is because all that volume will flow up, and guess what? I still get my new volume bonus. So if you see the arrows here, I place number 1 either in line 1, which is a power leg, or in line 2, which is my pay leg. I'm still going to receive my new volume bonus. So if that's Christy, I sign up Christy. Christy's number 1, and I put her down there on the bottom of leg 2. She goes ahead and just I say, okay, Christy, this is a good recruiting tool you can use too. When you need a 10-pack or you need whatever you need, you can say, hey, Christy, if you sign up today, I'm going to place a 10-pack under you. That's going to give you 500 PV. And for you to hit ultimate, all you need to do is buy 2 more 10-packs and you'll be at ultimate. You don't even have to do the whole 1,500 PV. And so I can go place that 500. Christy places the 2 10-packs, and that gives another. So there's 1,500 PV that gets Christy to ultimate and number 1 spot down there on the bottom. And then the number 3 above her, I can't get my little pointer. I wish I could. Number 3 above her will hit, will get credit for 15% of that if it was base pay, but since it's a single line, that's going to get credit for, it's going to start growing a power line. The next one, a power line. The next one has 2 lines, has a power line and pay line. That could actually get that person paid, flip their line, or stabilize a power line. So they could actually, if they have 2 lines, they could actually get paid on what Christy is doing. And so if Christy did 1,500 PV, guess what? That person, that number 3, that has 2 lines, can get paid there. That would be $225 that they would get, because that's 15% of base commission. They're not in her generational tree, but they are in their base commission in that side. And then number 2 is going to get credit for 1,500. Then the 1, all get credit. All that volume flows up all the way to the top. So if you place somebody 100 levels deep, 99 people between you and them are going to get credit for 1,500 PV, whether it's in a pay line or it's in a power line. So it's either building their power line or it's giving them a pay line. So with that said, this is where some people will get upset and be like, well, I'm not getting paid on my power line because you placed everybody there. And I don't have anybody there, so I'm not getting matching check. Yeah, but basically you've been gifted a power line that you never have to do anything with, that there's no work involved. And then that means everybody you place, you get paid basic commission and matching check on if somebody has built that power line for you. So don't get discouraged if you're not getting paid matching check in your power line because you haven't placed anybody in there. What that means is you're getting paid on everything you've done. Everything you've done. You didn't have to build a power line. And that's you're going to have a lot of people that you'll be building under as you're building. So good recruiters are going to be placing a lot of people in other people's lines. And then those of us that are builders, maybe, those of us that are more building and not as good as recruiting, this is where it really helps. You can start really help build as the recruiters are placing people. So this really generates, this is where the magic happens, and why the system of growth works is because you can actually help somebody get to ultimate, and you can move so much volume through your business. All right. I thought you had to personally buy or sell retail 50, not the PV. So not the VPs under you. So just when I say gets credit for, that just means they're building a power line. It has to run through your account. So there's a thing on your when you're checking out, it says who gets credit for the order. You can put it under yourself, a new preferred customer, or an existing brand partner. You put it under the existing brand partner, they get credit for it. I mean, I literally could go order a 30-pack. I could sign up Mary Olson right now and go order a 30-pack under her, and she would be ultimate and never had to do anything but pay her $39.95 or $37.95, whatever it is in Canada. Now, that doesn't help anybody else get to ultimate. So no brand partner that you put under you is going to help you get to ultimate. You can help them get to ultimate, but they can't help you get to ultimate. Does that explain it a little bit? All right, let's look through here. What happens when you put them on line 2, but the other side of line 2? It's the same thing. If you put them on line 2 on the other side, it's going to work the same way. That's why we say always go to the bottom. Always go to the bottom where it will help most people. Sometimes you're placing on somebody's line 2 that's underneath you or whatever. You want to place them at the very bottom to help the most people. Does that help, Denise? I can show that in the tree view if you want me to. Not necessarily. If you did that, it's bad. It just depends on, you may be leaving that person out there where they're not getting a lot of help under you. All right. Anything else on that?
Yeah, I gotta ask again, Reese, if that's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's suppose I have an order for 30-pack, okay?
Yep.
Let's suppose I've just brought in 2 brand partners and they're all going down like from 1. I put all 3 right one below each other, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I buy the 1,500 PV and I put it down at the bottom 3rd person, does everybody effectively get to ultimate under that line?
No, just the account you put it under.
Okay.
Just the account you put it under. So basically it has to run through your account. So when you're doing that, it's basically like signing into their back office, ordering the PV and ordering the product and just putting the address. Canada knows that very well because that's how they used to have to do it. Go into people's back office because they didn't have that option. Do the order, and then that PV would come up the tree that way. So it's basically like you're signing into their account. It's just a shortcut to do it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're going to do a training on lifestyle credits, which is how you go on the trips. But the biggest way, so we do 2 trips a year. The biggest way to really increase your lifestyle credits to do that is just by pay line growth, is the growth over time. So every 5,000 PV that your pay line grows, you get 25,000 in lifestyle credits. So that is by far the biggest way to grow your lifestyle credits. And that's how we go on the trips. We went to Punta Cana and Bali this past year. I got to go to Punta Cana, got to go to Tahiti the year before on the global trip, and they are phenomenal. They are 5-star. I know Christy and Mary both on here. They got to go to Punta Cana, and we didn't have to pay a dime there. I mean, once Mary got there they had a once Mary made it there, and then made it off the island, it was all smooth sailing. But I mean, they do these things top notch. You don't have to pay a dime. I know it in Tahiti. I spent $500 for the whole trip that we were there for 10 days, and that was just to go on a date night and with my wife on Bora Bora and to go to and buy souvenirs. And then I think we spent like $100 just for like some snacks and stuff while we were at the adventure park in Punta Cana. So these trips are phenomenal. They're very well organized. You guys, that's why my wife started this. She literally said, "How do I go to Tahiti?" And that's why we started this, so she could go to Tahiti. All right. I don't know what else is on here. Anything in the back office we want to look at, Carmen, or anything?
I'm not sure. Does anybody have anything they want to look at?
Ask one more question, Reese.
Yeah, Barry, go ahead.
On when you said about going ultimate, people still have like, let's say they do it in 2 months or 3 months, and then will they achieve that 30% commission then, or just?
So if they go out to 8 weeks, they're not going to get paid new volume bonus on anything that's going to go towards
Okay,
ultimate.
so they're still the regular 15%. Okay.
So yeah, so let's say Carmen was going for it, and I've signed her up, and she's going for ultimate or whatnot. Inside of those first 4 Fridays, whatever she orders, I'm going to get 30% on. Anything outside of that 4 weeks, I'll get base commission on if she's in the pay leg. For
Okay.
her, she's not going to get paid on any of that volume until she hits ultimate, or until she either hits ultimate or gets outside of those 8 weeks and says, "This is my business level." Then she'll get whatever business level she is. She'll get that percentage on new volume bonus for her new people, and then 15% on base commission. Now, anybody that signs up under her new people, like let's say I signed up Carmen and Carmen brings in 10 people, and that's all in a pay line. I'm going to continue. Carmen's going to get, just say it's split up. Let's say she's going to get 15% base commission on anybody that's not new volume, anybody that's not first generation. She'll get 15% if it's in a pay line, even though she's brand new.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
I have a question.
Yes, CW.
Why is it that in the monthly subscription, you have to put it the same color week?
It is a pain in the butt. That's all I'm going to. No. So it is to make sure everybody does it every 4th week. So when you sign up, this is your color week, whatever. All right. We are working on that right now to be able to basically any order we put in inside of that 4 weeks, we can apply that to our auto subscription or to that. That way you can put in an order and say, "I want this to qualify me at my qualification date." We are working on that. We already have the sync button so that you set it up and it puts it on there, but you just have to have something every 4 weeks. And this is an antiquated system that's been around for a long time, and we've just been trying to update it and keep it that way without changing a whole bunch of stuff and without a huge software change. So we're still on color weeks. I'm hoping we'll be off color weeks where we're not really talking about color weeks. It is way better now. It will automatically, even if you miss doing it, it will automatically do your color week for the most part now. Before it was literally you had to go hunt what your color week was if you did not do your stuff.
That's what I was just going to say. I was just going to ask you, Reese, since we're on this topic, I would love for you just to pull up your back office or someone's back office and just show how we find out what color week we're on to make sure that our subscriptions are in the right week. Because that
Yeah.
is important. We want to get paid. So
Yes. And I'm going to throw this out there. If it's messed up and you get the red letters, do not worry about that. All we have to do is call it in and we can get it changed. You're not going to miss anything. Even if you let a week go by, if it's an accident, the company's not going to say, well, you didn't do it. You lose so with the auto ship, like we said, you never lose ultimate. You never lose your space. However, you can lose, you will lose your lifestyle credits and you will lose your savings bonus and carryover volume if you don't have an active auto subscription. But if it's an accident, you miss it for a week or anything like that, or for some reason your credit card got declined or you switched banks or it was expired, whatever it is, we can always fix that. It's an easy fix. We call it in and so don't get too worked up on it. Let me go ahead and sign in to
Okay,
real
can
quick.
I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
When does your week, like your subscription color week, start then? The moment you join as a BP, or the moment you get your 200 PV qualification, or the moment you
Very,
place your first
very good
subscription?
question. It is a pain again. This is the only piece of the piece of it, and this is all logistics, not the actual pay plan. It's just the logistics of it. It's a pain because new volumes bonus starts and I'm only using this because there is two different things. So new volume bonus for the person that sponsors you starts the day you sign up. Your color week does not become official until you hit 200 PV. So if you don't hit 200 PV until your third week, your color week is not starting till then.
200 when you get your 200 PV in. So it could be that same day, it could be a week later.
Exactly.
And then, okay, because I did help one BP get, because he didn't do his 200 right away. And then when I call customer service, honestly, is fantastic. Like they're so helpful. And she's like, oh no, we can just do it now. And then it actually gives them another 4 weeks or whatever. Like it kind of bumped it all back.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
and that's another thing we can do. Say somebody comes in at 200 PV and they don't do anything, and then all of a sudden they want to, and they say, "Hey, I want to do this, but I want to kind of start over." You won't get new volume bonus, but you can move their start date. They won't get credit for that original two. So let's say Carmen came in, she starts. We did a 200 PV order under her. She's activated, but never does anything, and then 3 months later says, "I want to do this, but I want to try to go for ultimate." We can literally move that start date and she can start fresh right there. And she can order but she would have to get the 1500, the 200. So I don't want to get too in depth in that, but the company is very, very understanding. They want people to work. They want people to make money, and they're not going to tell us no in reasonable, situations like a missubscription or anything like that. Now, if you miss multiple ones and you turn yours off and you're literally going in there and canceling it because you can't afford it this week or whatever it is, they're not going to continue to give it. But if it's us trying to figure out what color week you are and everything, then yeah, they're gonna work with us all the way. All right, I'll share real quick. So
I have one other question.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
It's about the setting up the banking. I don't know, has it changed? Do you know, has it changed for Canada? Because it was kind of confusing the way you set up your banking there, and you ended up having to send an automatic deposit form that you get off your online banking, but you had to send it directly to customer service. So I just wondered if that's been streamlined at all.
Christy, Carmen, Mary.
For Canada,
I do not know.
Yeah, so for Canada, you put your 3-digit bank number, your 5-digit transit number together with a 0 up in front. And that's how you input it in the back office. And it should work. I've never had troubles on my end, but I know some people do. So say if your banking number is 008, that's your bank number, you would put 0008 and then your transit number. And then your bank account number. Yeah.
Okay, because back when I tried, I put all the numbers in and it didn't accept it or whatever. And then I ended up just sending it into customer service and it got done.
Gotcha.
So anyway,
So
okay,
you
that's
weren't
good
doing
to
the
know.
0 in front of it. Yeah. I do know that.
No.
that you have to put the 0 in front of it, which is weird too. But that's again,
Yeah.
and that's another thing about this company is they listen to us. We actually have a partners council that we get to, give input. And inside of that partners council, we have our IT committee, which I actually am a part of. So we get to give input like that. That's one of the things that we brought up multiple times that that's on a list to be working on is the banking side for Canada. So when you hit technical things that you're like, man, this would be better if we did that, send that to me. I mean, literally, if I had this column in a report, it would work. Send that to me because we can see it might be an easy one or it might be a hard one. Just remember that the back office has to be used across the world. So there's a lot of stuff in here that we don't use that some other people use and vice versa. So, all right. So, Carmen, what did you want me to cover in the back office real quick? Oh, see where your color week is.
Yeah.
Once you do your 200 PV, it should show up right here, your qualifying week right here. And it will be a blue dot. So that means that's where you're supposed to have yours. When you go into subscription manager, into the menu, subscription manager, you click here, my qualifying week says week 36. If you don't have anything here, it's probably not going to say anything. Before PXP, it will not matter. It will be here. It will always be here. We're changing that right now. That was one of the things the IT committee met on last. And so in this situation, Danessa has two set up, but she doesn't really work the business or anything. So she actually just has what she wants on here. Never, 120 is one thing, but don't do 200 or 300 or 400 PV on your auto ship, because if you are building this business, you can place that extra. All you need is 100 PV to qualify you. All that extra. Let's say you want a monthly of 500 PV of all these products that you're getting. Just put 100 PV worth on subscription, and then take that 400 and place it under a new brand partner. If you don't have a new brand partner, sign up your siblings, sign up your children, sign up your dog, whatever it is. You don't have to put in it. And then for those 4 weeks, you can order whatever you want to and get a 30% kickback. If you go over on this, so in Danessa's case, she has 120 plus the 25. So she's got 45 extra PV. It gets auto balanced and you get 15%. So you can double your money that you get when do that. So only put 100 PV on your auto ship. And never delete your auto ship. That's another piece. Never delete that auto ship. Only edit it. That way you'll never lose your color week. But when you do go in to add new subscription, and I'm just going to throw something in there real quick. So I add it to cart, and then I continue to check out. It says don't miss out on commissions. It will automatically see, you can see, even though I've got one set up and it's not in a cart, it's automatically selecting the blue week because I was a blue week. So if you do this and you go through here, it should automatically put it on the correct week. So that is a big improvement over the last month that we've had. Because used to, if it was outside, if you would have done it inside of, like, right when you signed up or in your first 4 weeks, it would automatically do it. And then outside of that, you had to try to figure it out. Now it should automatically do that. If you delete your auto ship, now that the reason we say don't delete it is because most people, when they delete it, they never get it set back up on the right subscription week, but it should automatically do it now. So you're not as in much danger. But if you just edit it, you know that you're not messing it up. Edit, you just know you got it's shipping on the right date. And then color week is just, there's 4 color weeks. I'll show you again real quick. That is basically your qualifying week. So as you can see there, there's purple, green, blue, red, purple, green, blue, red. And it just keeps repeating like that. And a lot of times when people do delete theirs, how I can figure it out, I just go in here and look for when was their qualifying volume, 100 PV, it was blue. Okay, you're a blue week. You can always look at this chart and there should be one in there that will tell you what it is, where this qualifying volume is. All right. Any questions on that?
Yes, I have one.
Yes, CW, go ahead, bud.
Okay, so in the case where you had the 100 PV, and then let's say you just want to do an order for 1,000 PV, can you order it in your own back office and then put the PV under the person, or do you have to go call your person and get them to work?
No. Let me show you. Let's say I signed up somebody. I'm just gonna. So I'm just going to grab somebody just so it'll show you. Let's grab Christy's number real quick, or actually, we'll just grab Colleen's number. Copy that. You just come in here, find whoever it is. You should probably know who your new people are. I can look up my signed up date. All right. So the last person to sign up here is August. They've got an active subscription, but I can also, if I wanted to find somebody to put it under, if you've signed up a bunch of people, you can literally come here and put, okay, sponsorship, personal, apply filters, and it's going to show you your personal sponsors right here. And you can sort by sign up date. And then there you go. There's your sign up dates. So then you can take the top person if they're inside their first 4 weeks and they're not ultimate. You can take that number. You can go shop
to run on our qualifying week each month to be paid commissions.
All right, and then go to like let's say we want to order a 10-pack. I go to a 10-pack. Here's the 10 boxes. Tells me $879. Never add anything to your subscription here because it will do it on this date. This is for a customer, not for a brand partner. Just so you know, just don't hit it there. Do that in the back office. I'm adding it to bag. I'm going to check out. When I'm checking out, it says who is getting credit for this order. I change that. Go to downline brand partner. I got their number. There you go. They're going to get credit. So they're going to get credit for that 500 PV, and it's going to go down there to them. And that's all you have to do. Then you put in your shipping address and everything, and you're set. You never have to go into their back office. You don't have to call them to get them to do it. You don't have to do any of that. You just do it right there. And that's for Canada and the US now. It wasn't that way for Canada up until July. So
that's cool.
That's
sweet.
Anything else, guys?
I got a question.
Yes.
Just for clarification, especially for new people, the difference between your pay line and power line, how do you know what is what? And do they flip?
Oh yeah, they flip.
So how do you know which one is your power line?
PV, whichever one has the highest PV. And let me share. I'll share that real quick again, and I'll show you what I mean.
That does flip a lot.
It can, and that's why I recommend going with 3 lines because it will keep you from flipping all the time. You kind of know where your power line is.
Oh, that's a good thing to know.
All right. So we'll go back into manage account. All right. So I'm just going to show you how I place people because this is an important piece. So when you come here, you're going to click when I'm trying to figure out where I'm placing. Okay. I've got CW that I just signed up. I need to place him. He's in my placement queue. I'm going to go into my money first and go to volume. Don't use the volume widget out there because it has carryover volume. I'm going to go here and look, and you can see in this case, there's 3 legs, really only 2 active buildings. So I'm building with 2 legs in this situation. So based on this, I'm probably going to place it in line 1, but I just want to double check, make sure there wasn't an anomaly. So I'm looking here. Yeah, line 2 is kicking butt. So right here, I'm looking, and I'm sure I can go back a few weeks because I know you can see right here, her line 1, you can see where it flipped. Line 1 was the power line, but she flipped it because as you place people, you will wind up flipping it. But in this situation, I'm looking at the lowest volume here, the new volume and base. I'm not looking at this carryover volume. Don't look at that. This is another piece to our pay plan that we absolutely love. And as long as you're active, you create carryover volume. So what carryover volume is, it will be the company will only use for your pay line for your power line what your pay line is. So if this paid out right now, so actually if we just go look at last week, it's going to be 13,344 or 13,334 minus 4,039. That's going to leave us 9,651, and that starts our week, and that keeps our legs from flipping. So if in this situation, even if this line did 8,000 more, and so that's more than this, because we have carryover volume, it will keep it from flipping, and you actually will end up getting paid based on that carryover volume. So carryover volume is a nice little piece that we have that helps us. But when you're just starting out and your lines are pretty even, they're going to flip on you, and you won't have carryover volume when it's flipping. But this is where I go. Like right now, I'm going to place CW in line 1. And then I'm going to go to my tree, and you'll do this when you're placing it. I know I'm going to go line 1. I go into the tree view, and I want to put it at the bottom here. And so let me see if I can do this quickly without. Again, this is why I like using the computer, because on a phone, dang, her line 1 has scrolled out. I'm just going to put line 1. Now show it. All right, so here's line 1. I'm just going down to the very bottom of line 1. Let's zoom out. All right. All the way. See, I'm not looking to see that it's all the, because a lot of people will talk all the way left, all the way right. If I went all the way left, I wouldn't help as many people. But here's my lowest point that I see. So this is the person that I'm going to place under. I would take it and place that person right there, because that will help the most people going up through that line. So it would
Okay,
travel
what if-
through all these people. Yeah, go ahead.
What if you have a lot of people that are not active on that line? Is it still
I
worth
still
putting
put-
somebody there?
You can then make a judgment call there, but most likely it's going to be worth putting them there. That's
Yeah.
I'm look, because it's about going to be even as your business grows. Just the numbers. I mean, it's a numbers game. As it works out, the numbers game goes that way. And so it's you're going to have just as many inactive over here versus over there. You could maybe change it up a little bit, but based on that, if it's like 1 or 2 people and nobody's active on one side, but somebody, you got 4 people active on the other, then yeah, you would want to help the 4 active people out over the 4 non-active people or 6 non-active people.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? I know we've
Got
been
lots.
an hour and 15 minutes, and I know, Patrick, we wanted to cover that, but we'll do that on a different day. If you're good with that, we can do because I know that is key. So just remember, we're thinking 13,334 for each line. That's 9 30 packs, and that's 134 auto subscriptions per line per week, and that will optimize you. That it can also be a variation of products, but as Patrick was talking about, and I was talking about when we first got on, we talk a lot in how many boxes do I need to sell, or does that line need to sell for it to optimize? And it doesn't matter who does it, how many generations down, whatever it is, you just need 9 30 packs.
Now,
134 auto ships per week per line. So multiply that out by 4 per line, and that's what you need every 4 weeks.
now you're talking about placing volume, and I
Mhm.
want to make sure I got clarity. So you place volume under your personally enrolled people. You don't place volume under somebody else. As long as it's on your tree, you don't place it under anybody, right? You just place it under your personally sponsored person first, because that's the biggest. You get a bigger matching check by helping them if they're in a non-pay line, if they're in a pay line, right?
So in that situation, you're going to get new volume bonus. They're not going to get paid on that. Now, if you put it below them, they would get some, and then you could get matching check, but that's smaller than what your new volume bonus is. So if you're looking dollar to dollar, you will always place it for new volume bonus to get 30%. There are times, and I do this when I am trying to help somebody's close, or the line here's a perfect example. There is a line that needs to optimize, and I don't have a personally placed sponsor, and because I want that bonus. Just say I've done this. I did this to optimize it our first time. Our first pay line was literally I needed 100 PV to optimize that, and that would give us an extra $470 plus open up matching check generation 5. So it was almost a $900 swing. So I placed a 100 PV order under somebody that wasn't personally sponsored, and I placed them, helped them get to where they were going. Didn't make 30%, so I missed $15. I could have, but I gained $900. So
then
it becomes strategy at that point.
Exactly. When it comes to strategy, you and I can talk, but sometimes there's monetary value and there's emotional value. And
Absolutely.
So sometimes I've always said it might excite the guy enough to go sponsor 5 guys. Well, I'm going to get 5 matching checks long term rather than the 50% right up front.
Look at that long term. When you're just building, I get it. We want to make sure we're making good upfront income. But once you get going, and I think Christy and Carmen and Mary and everybody can tell you here, there are going to be times where you said that emotional side of things, that getting somebody in, even if they're not, you know, you're personally sponsored. Hey, I mean, there have been times that I've had say, if you'll come in, I'll put an order under you. Yeah, it's 15%, but long term, I know they're probably going to bring me, you know, a list of people, things like that. Or it might just, I mean, so just there is some strategy in that, but building just the general rule is you're placing it under a personally
Exactly.
sponsored person.
Exactly. There's exceptions to the rules, and we know
Yep.
how to build. So I just
Yeah.
want,
Yeah. You guys will.
you and I will
Yeah.
be able to talk. I'll get strategy out so you can guide me, because I know there is equity built in a relationship. I'm a big believer
Yes.
building equity, because long term that guy's gonna stay and I get freedom rather than
Yes.
15%, $500. I'm like, I can get $500 easily. I need longevity, free time. I want free time. This guy makes 5,000 a month.
Yep.
I'm good. I'm like, I'll give you the $500 down the road. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. You're going to get that in return. There's no doubt about that. And that's
Okay.
the team you're on, the people you've got, Carmen and Christy, everybody above you, they all understand that. And they all do that very, very well. But yeah, we can talk about that. And that's what I say. Use me, use your leader, use whoever it is. When you're placing people, some of you guys are going to get it right off the bat when you're placing people. And like, so what I generally do when I have somebody placing, I will either share my screen or let them share their screen, and I will do exactly what I just did and walk them through it and tell them why I'm doing that. So generally in 4 or 5 times, they're going to get the concept. And then when they hit something like that, well, hey, I have this person, but they're not a personally sponsored, you know, Christy's bringing on somebody and they don't really want they can't come on and we need to try to help them, whatever it is, there may be a situation in that. So that's where you kind of just work with your leader on that. But for the most part, standard rule, use your leader. You get that strategy going the first few times. I mean, I know you guys will already, I mean, some of you guys that have been in network marketing for a while, you guys will get it right off the bat and take off running with it. Some of you guys, it might take you a little bit longer. And there's some people still place their people with them and they're making great money in the company and they have zero clue about the back office. And that's okay. That's what we do. I just fill in where I need to fill in. If you can be that utility role, that's where you build the business. You build that relationship and you just be available or either have the people that are good at something. I know people in my downline I can call if I need them to do something. If I need somebody to present, I can call Christy Walsh and say, hey, Christy, I need some help on presenting. I got a girl that I need help with. And even though Christy's in my downline, she'll easily jump on and help because, again, it's about the relationships and we help each other. So.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey,
Any
Reese,
questions?
sorry.
Yes.
I have one more question. So what happens if you have someone who just wants to place an order, so they want the discount, but you know that maybe they're like they have no interest in the business? Or would you just like order it yourself and then just give them the discount? Or would you automatically suggest that they pay the $37.95 and put them in as a brand partner? Like,
Okay, so Todd does the same thing I do, but I'm going to convert on the front end every time.
okay.
Most people that are doing this business that are doing well, I won't say most, but a good bit. Look at Susan Cameron. She came in and she literally bought thousands upon thousands of dollars at retail, and then finally joined because she sold a bunch of boxes by just telling her experience on a Lyme disease post, and people wanted to buy from her. So then she joined the business. She was never going to do this. She said she was never going to do this. I've had so many people say, I'm not doing the business. I'm not doing the business. They come in, they start the product, they have results. People ask them about the results. They sell a box of drops. And a lot of times they come to me and say, hey, there's somebody that wants it. I will refer it to you. I'm like, no, here, you just take the money, sign up for $30. So anybody that comes to me, I'm going to say, hey, you can buy it at $167 or you can pay $30 and get it at a discount. I'm always going to sell the discount and let that. Yes, I make less money. But so it's going to be where you're at in your business. When you're just starting out, that retail money is going to be what gets you rolling. So you might not want to do that. But as a few months in, you're probably going to move to wanting to convert. Now, Carmen, I don't want to steer anybody on your team differently than what you're teaching. So if you teach different, please chime in on that.
No, it's all good. I just wanted to add to I've been on a couple other Zooms and anyone that's not doing the system of growth like that, the system of growth, like I would not be paying for boosting ads on Facebook. You'll get, I mean, I don't know what you'll get from that, but it's, you know, next to nothing, I would say. Our system of growth, no other company has this. And when we get on there and support each other's posts and you know, pump stuff up and get your algorithms going, I mean, it'll blow your mind what you can accomplish here with this system. It's amazing. It's so powerful. Just wanted to add that.
Yeah, the system of growth literally, I mean, it organically developed. So the fact that it organically developed, it was not force. It works. We've seen people that have never made money in this industry make a lot of freaking money in this company. And we've seen people that have made a lot of money in this industry come in and actually do the system of growth, even though they didn't want to, still do it and then make even more and really take off. So when you see the guys that have been in doing it for years and years and years, and they're using a system like this and they've made good money in the past, you know, you got something. And everybody that's successful at the top of the boards, at the top on the rankings, are all using the system of growth. That's why the US and Canada has most of those #1 spots in the world.
So if I have, say, a relative who wants to get a bottle of drops, and they're amicable, or like they're okay signing up as a brand partner. So even though you know that, you know, they won't do anything in the beginning, right? They just want to order their drops. You would still sign them up as a brand partner.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
That's
Yep.
what I was wondering. Okay.
Yes. Sorry, I'm very long-winded. So, all right. Any other questions? Well,
Hey,
I sure
Reese.
hope this was help. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Christy.
Hey,
I
Christy.
just want to give kind of a rule of thumb for the new brand partners out there. Once you're locked in at Ultimate, I just say always, always, always offer the business. And we have some great
Yes.
scripts in the boards. We have that, are you a 1, 2, or 3? So you offer, you know, a box of drops at full retail, a 3-pack at full retail, or enroll and start posting and get them for free. And everybody always comes back with I'm a 1 for this month, I'm a 2, or I'm a 3. It works like a charm every time.
Yeah. And that is
You know,
built into the boards.
I want to
Go ahead,
touch
Carmen.
on that too. Sorry, Reese. I think I'm delayed, so I don't even know who's talking. So I want to touch on what Christy just said there, because it is so powerful, that 1, 2, and 3. Like I'm a script person. I've been doing this industry for 20 years, and I will say that in the first month I used that script, and I always got people signed up. Like it was just like it's just so simple, and they answer usually a 3. Who wouldn't want the discount? So it's great.
Yeah, it works. And don't be afraid, and never, ever, ever prejudge a person. And I always tell my team, if Joni would have prejudged me 17 months ago, I was a frazzled woman, busy, 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 not feeling good. If she would have said, oh, she's too busy, she's got too much on her plate to work the business, I never would be where I am today. And this was exactly what I needed to change my life.
Yeah, the system of growth really creates the power of duplication within our organizations. And that is what was always missing in previous companies for me, was duplicating ourselves. Those scripts, and then using your upline and doing 3-way calls or whatever it is, or getting on Zooms, building that relationship. I mean, it's just, we've got everything we need here. It's so powerful. I wanted to say thank you, Reese, for taking the time out of your day to come on here and train all of us, and everybody that showed up here today. If you have any more questions, please go ahead and ask right away here, and then we'll close this thing up for the day.
What's so great about this business, though, literally sitting down in Costa Rica on vacation, but working. I mean, I've done during several Zooms, signed up several. I mean, so you get to do this from anywhere. It's like, man, working 65 hours a week, 70 hours a week in an office. That's for the birds now. I love this life.
I love it.
All right, guys. Any questions? You got something, Patrick?
Really appreciate you, buddy. I really, really appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
No problem. You guys, any of you guys, I'm happy to help. You can see my daughter. She's like, when are we going? We're at beach time.
Your dad
Thanks for your help,
awesome.
Reese.
Your dad is awesome. Your dad is one awesome dude. Just remember that.
Yeah, he is. We agree.
Thanks, Reese.
Thank you so much, you
All right, guys.
guys.
Talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
Bye.